Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of The Pizza Palace.
Hey, get yourself at the pizza pie.
This is now the last episode of The Pizza Palace.
Wait, is this not a pizza place?
It is,
First
of course,
time
your host.
Joke. 29 episodes in. Let's go.
It is your host, Robert Winstanley, unfortunately joined by Hollywood Sean Murphy. Sean, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing so good, man. I mean, in a literal sense, I'm exhausted, but in a overall sense, I'm feeling good, man. I mean, first of all, Summer League's coming up and it's happening right now. So like, and it's one of those times in the league calendar where normally I don't care, but when you have a lottery pick player that's going to be playing, not one, but two that are going to be playing in the Summer League, it adds an extra level of fun to it. But in addition, since this was like the first draft that I got to cover professionally, and this is a draft that I've really dug into so in depth.
So you know these guys very well.
I know these guys pretty darn well. I'm excited to see them in their new systems, in their new jerseys, with their new teammates, and just seeing what they do and like what we learn about these guys. And also just seeing like a lot of these guys get the love that they deserve. Like after like specifically Chet Holmgren had his first Summer League game. And you could tell that it was the first time that literally anyone had watched Chet Holmgren play basketball. Like, you could just tell, right? And the reason why you could tell was because Twitter lit on fire because of how talented Chet Holmgren was. And Robert, I'm not sure if you knew this or not.
Yeah.
But I've been talking about for months how talented this guy is.
I'm aware, and I've been telling you how much I don't like the guy.
But did you see some of the stuff he did?
Yeah, I saw it
in numbers like that. And then and again, you don't want to, you generally don't want to overreact to like Summer League in the sense of like, oh, clearly since they played really well in Summer League, they're going to be great in the NBA because 75% of players that play in the Summer League actually don't end up being in the NBA altogether. However, what you do want to look for, first of all, you want to see your lottery picks rise above and show that they're clearly above and beyond the rest of the players there, which Chet showed, right? And then in addition, you want to see signs and symptoms and little sense of things that they can do going forward. Like I didn't describe that well at all, but like
I saw the signs.
Exactly, but yeah. Open your mind like saw the signs. But you know, God dang it. But anyway,
yeah, no, I get it for sure.
Episode of the Pizza
I will.
No, I'm kidding.
I will say, I feel like my thing with the Summer League specifically is it's fun, it's neat, it's cute, it's exciting if you're a basketball fan and you want to see, the young talent and stuff like that, whatever. The thing that I hate about Summer League is every article and every take by every sports fan during and after the Summer League.
Oh, and that's my thing. And
that's the thing I hate.
And that was going to be my next point, is that you have to go into the Summer League with the right mindset. And that's why, like I said, you have to focus on not saying this is who they're going to be based off of what you're seeing in Summer League
every night.
However, it's, here's why you can be excited about Chet Holmgren's future, right? Like, here's what to look forward to is the fact that he already is a great shot blocker. So just already the fact that he's shown that he could be a great rim protector. Like, all right, let's see how that translates to the NBA level. All right, he showed off a little bit more of his jump shot and what he can do if he's given more opportunities to touch the ball. He showed that he has a really good jump shot. We still don't know if he can score on the NBA level because this isn't the NBA level. However, we did see him with, God dang it, Robert. You didn't watch the game. Don't act like you know. I was about to ask you, did you watch? And I knew. I was like, Listen, man, I did that too much in the regular season. I learned my lesson here.
What? I mean, rude, but somewhat fair.
Somewhat. You were like, "Oh, are you watching this Bulls game?" And I'm like, you were like, "Brother, I haven't logged into League Pass in 3 months." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
You're like, you literally do a show where you talk about sports. I'm like,
Yeah. That's maybe a conversation for off air, but no,
yeah,
I'm
no,
just
for
fucking,
sure, for
no,
sure.
I'm no, I'm just, I was just playing, but
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where like I have every intention of watching a lot more games, and I generally do.
but in all seriousness, I think
Yeah.
summer league, I think you're valid to be like, because in all seriousness, because like you're saying, there really is a culture within this within summer league or within the NBA culture just that has foregone conclusions after summer league, right? Like for example, let's remember what happened last year with Cade and Jalen Green.
Yeah, for real.
After their first summer league game, it was a foregone conclusion that Jalen Green was the number one guy and the Pistons made a mistake. And then I went back and actually like last week rewatched their first time they played in the NBA on national television, and everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, that's why Cade was the number one overall pick. He's just in a different league than Jalen Green." So like
Correct.
it's like one of those things where at the end of the day, you have to take what you're seeing right now with a grain of salt, but rather it's just again, it's viewing what can they be and also where can they grow and get better heading into the NBA season too. That's the thing I look for personally. So
Well, and it's the same thing as like what I sometimes see with like the NFL draft. Like, we saw Jamar Chase, right? Is that who I'm thinking of for the Bengals?
yep.
Yes. So when he had like his very first workout or something like that, and he's like, "Oh man, the ball feels bigger than it does in college. Like it's kind of hard to catch." And everyone was like, "Oh my god, he can't catch. He's the worst. Oh my god, he's a bust." Oh.
Dude, the
And
fact
they
that literally
flipped the fuck out.
there was a full meme culture around Jamar Chase being a bust based off of that
Yes.
one comment. And then, quite literally, was the first rookie wide receiver in how long to be the reason that a team got to the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
I think
I
he can
think he
catch
can
that.
catch.
I think he can catch that football just fine.
Yeah, it's infuriating. So that's the type of shit where I'm just kind of like, okay, I get it. And it's fun and it is good content and it can get you views and all that kind of stuff to, throw out all these hot takes about so and so is good or that they suck or whatever it may be. But I'm just like, it's just bogus until you get about, I mean, really, honestly, like a whole season in, really, because it's like a guy could have a really slow start, like Cade Cunningham, and it's like he's all right, and then he picks up, and you're like, oh wait, there he is.
Yeah.
And but then to try to say like that, what we saw out of Cade in year one is like, oh well, that's his full potential. It's like, what are we talking about? Like, it's insanity the way
Well,
that fan bases work.
the other thing too is that we're seeing a lot of people within the media world, like especially after this last year, like a lot of seasons they'll just do like redrafts right away, like right after the season. It's like, all right, yep, now like what we've seen, how would you redraft? And it's like, oh, clearly Evan Mobley would go number one or Scotty Barnes would go number one. But like, it's like,
Yes.
first of all, I think this is like one of the first draft orders in quite a while where the top four are all pretty happy with who they got. And in
Yes.
addition, I would say we haven't seen nearly enough. I feel
No.
like there was only 1 month out of the year where Evan Mobley was unequivocally a better rookie than Cade Cunningham, and then
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the year, I would say they were on par. So,
Yeah.
like, I would honestly say that the Pistons and the Cavaliers both have reasons to believe that they have a franchise player going forward. Now,
Yes.
personally, I would still draft Cade Cunningham because I would
Yes.
say, it's easier. It's much more important. Like you need a Cade Cunningham on your franchise before you need an Evan Mobley, right? Like for Evan Mobley, like he came into a situation where like Darius Garland offensively took over, and then like other like Jarrett Allen was like that anchor on the defensive end, and then he was like the icing on top, right?
Yes.
Whereas Cade is like the foundation piece. He's the one that like
Yes.
makes everything run. He's the conductor, and like so
Yeah.
like it's radically different roles. So again, like people just don't take that into account.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's one thing that I think for whatever reason never gets talked about until a player is great and they're, either retired or going to be soon is it's a weird thing where a player early on in their career, if they're good, it's all about how amazing that guy is, right? And then, later on down the road, it becomes like, oh, well, was he only good because he was on such and such team? And it's like kind of a weird, like, it's kind of both. And the thing is, to that point, like, would Evan Mobley be great on the Pistons? Probably, but like
Yeah.
our team isn't necessarily set up for him specifically. I mean, he'd be
Oh,
great, but it's just like it's not necessarily the same thing. We don't have the same philosophy, the same coaching staff, the same players, stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, you put a great player on a team and he's gonna still be great, but it's just like, well, what is the piece that we are trying to
well,
build from? So
well, and again, you look at the timetables of where the teams are at. Cleveland was in
yeah, they're
year
very
5.
different.
Yeah, Cleveland was in what, year 4, year 5 of a rebuild.
At
Cade
least, yeah.
was literally was in our second full season of being committed to a rebuild. So we're
Yes.
still extremely early in the process. So, I think now that we're gonna see Cade along with the rest of this young core that's coming together, and I think now that you're gonna see Cade growing into season 2, I think like a
Mm,
lot of those things, like, you're gonna see more of that value. So, and I think with a lot of these rookies that are coming in, you're seeing more and more guys that are contributing deeper and deeper into the draft pool. But like at the same time, with that, you still have to be patient and let them come in and like be who they are and like let them make mistakes and like, play their game. So,
yes.
but luckily with us having Dwayne Casey, that allows us to do that. So,
Yes. Sean, I think another thing that I want to talk about to segue somewhat quickly into, and I don't know how long we'll necessarily stay on it, but they finally revealed the covers for NBA 2K, which is always kind of an exciting thing, especially because who doesn't love the new video game? Because especially after you get all these new rookies, I know I was extremely excited for the new game once we got Cade Cunningham, and so I was very excited to, when that finally was released, to get that and be able to
oh
play as
yeah.
him. So it's always exciting when the new 2K comes around because especially if you're a fan of a team that sucks, you get all of your young new rookies and it's super exciting and it's awesome. In this case, we have Devin Booker, Grand Rapids' own. Devin Booker is on the
GR
cover.
native Devin
Beautiful.
Booker.
First of all, those
Perhaps
covers are so sick.
perhaps the best 2K covers we've gotten in years. Like I
Oh,
like the
easily. I love the art style. This is
yeah,
incredible.
it's really cool. So first of all, this is the standard edition. This is what the digital deluxe edition looks like a
Mm,
2K. But then in addition, since it is 2K23, we also get the Michael Jordan in the championship edition. The cool thing about the championship edition is that it comes with like a ton of perks and all this sorts of stuff too. Also comes with a 12-month subscription to NBA League Pass.
really?
Yep.
That's probably pretty expensive.
I don't know. I have no clue what it is. I'll have to look it
Yeah.
up. But
Yeah, look that up
it,
for us. But going back to the
but
other
then
one real
also,
quick.
but
Oh.
also they have the WNBA cover as well with Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird on it as well. So,
Oh.
yep, which is something that they're going to be doing every year from now on is a WNBA cover as well. So they had
Is that
Candace
on like
Park.
the reverse or do you have to buy it that way?
It's like a version, like it's like a version of the game. You can choose to buy a version of it, like with the WNBA cover, I believe.
Okay, because I just pointing out, like one of my favorite games ever, the not original, but the remake of Doom from 2016. They did this really cool thing where it had the regular cover, and then you could flip it inside out, and it had a different cover on the other side, so it was a reversible cover. It would be kind of cool if they did that, so that you could both get the WNBA and the NBA, and you could kind of choose back and forth. Um, because maybe you like both athletes and stuff like that. That'd be really cool, and maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah, it looks
But
like it's like a different, so it looks like what it is, it's like a different edition of the game. And like
okay,
if you order it, it just comes with like it's like a pre-order and it's like comes with like special content as
Hmm.
well.
I
But I'm sure it comes with like a cover or something with it though that would represent it because I would imagine that they would want to do something. It looks like the championship edition's $150,
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
it's considering you get a 12-month subscription to League Pass, you also get like 100,000 virtual currency, like a ton, like you get a ton of like, like my team content, like my park content. It's the ultimate collector's edition.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure. Um, yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, it would be cool to have Devin Booker's awesome cover on one side and then, the other thing on the other. Because here's the thing. I don't buy physical copies of games anymore. I haven't bought a physical
yeah,
copy of a game in like 6 years, but
that cover
this
makes
is
me
one that
want to
I'll do
buy.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also for me being a huge Michael Jordan fan as well,
Mm,
doing the special like Michael Jordan edition, like my favorite 2Ks of all time have been the ones that have had Michael Jordan on the cover. Like those have generally always been bangers as
for
far as
sure.
2K goes. So there's kind of a nostalgia sense, but like on the other hand, there's our guy, the GR native, Devin Booker, one of my favorite players in the NBA, the cerebral assassin, and just how awesome of a cover it is. Yeah, man. Just I'm pumped. I mean, I'm the sucker that's gonna buy 2K every single year, no matter what. And especially now to, next year when we get to play with Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren and like all those guys and an improved Cade as well,
Yeah.
ratings wise, like that's gonna be fun. That
And
is
hopefully
gonna
with
be
his
fun.
dreadlocks or whatever you call them, like,
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
really
yeah.
dope. First of all, I love Frocade, but I'm also like, when I saw him have, the curls, I was like, that's fucking sick. Like, that's cool.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
liked it. He just looked business, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
looked bigger, and I was like, oh my boy.
He's definitely bulked up
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the summer. They've definitely been working on his strength, and you can tell. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
As far as the covers go, it's an interesting year this year for covers in general because generally, like I said, I don't buy physical editions, but I might buy a couple physical editions just to keep in the plastic, honestly. And the one being our boy Devin Booker. I want to have that one. And then the other one being that Madden is going to do a special, Madden on the cover thing because obviously he passed away and stuff like that. I have to
Yep.
have that as a Raiders fan. Like that just would
Oh,
be
yeah.
beautiful. So I'm gonna do that, but probably the next time I would do it is maybe if the Vegas Aces have their own cover or something like that, especially if they won like the championship and they had like a cover with them as the champions, then I'd buy that immediately. That
I
would be
I
so sick.
I just love that your fandom of the WNBA is just evolved to the point where you're now like, if there's a Las Vegas Aces championship, I have to own that.
I
It's like,
have to.
yeah.
Yo, I'm all in on the Aces. I mean, I have been for a little while now. I remember when I first started to like the WNBA, mostly because I didn't know what it was, and I was kind of being a dick and kind of like, what is this?
Yeah.
But then I started to genuinely like it or whatever. And the funny thing is when I was like, oh, we should play that mode in 2K, and you're like, okay. And I notoriously cannot hit a three to save my life in that game. And then we played the WNBA, and it was like I was Steph Curry. I couldn't miss.
It
It
was
was
kind of weird
insane.
because we were just playing 2K, we were just playing around, joking around, and this guy has the freaking audacity
Mm,
to beat me in 2K. The one time he beats me is when
mm.
we play the WNBA mode.
By
So,
like 40. Like I blew you out of that game, and it
it
was
wasn't by 40. It was like by 6.
I don't know if 6 was the number. At one point, I was up by a lot. I think you came back towards the end because you started to get it a little more. But for a little while there, I was up by a ton. And it was like you were so confused, and I was confused because you were like, wait a minute, why can you hit shots?
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like the both like agreeing like this isn't how this is supposed to be going
It
at
seemed
all.
wrong.
Yeah, like generally it's an accepted rhythm that I
Mm.
kick your ass unconditionally in 2K that like
Especially if I play as a team I like.
I have my way. Like there's no conversation about it. Like I literally I'll just sit there. I'll wait to see who Robert picks. And based off that, I'm like, all right, I'll go with this. I'll go this direction.
Which is, by the way, like one of 3 options. Sean, would you like to disclose who my 3 teams, my circle of teams are?
Of course. So first you gotta go He has to play it. His first go-to is Dame. That's one of his go-tos. He loves hitting threes with Dame and the
Yeah,
Portland
in Portland, yeah.
Trailblazers. Another one that's on there is the Miami Heat, even though he's always like, man, I suck ass playing with the Miami Heat. And he's like, I'm gonna go with the Heat. I like their I just, yeah, Jimmy Butler, yeah, go Heat. And he plays the Heat and he goes, why do I play as the Heat? I freaking hate playing as the Heat. And then like the next time we hang out, he's gonna play as the Heat.
Every
And then
time.
the third team is
Mm.
either the Chicago Bulls
Mhm.
or if he's feeling desperate, he'll pull out Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks and yam it down that way.
For sure. I think there's a team that has been left off of this, and I feel like it's the most important one, actually, and that being the Boston Celtics,
Oh,
because I
that's
have
right. That's
some
right.
weird addiction to picking this damn team,
That's
and
right.
I don't think I've ever finished a game as the Boston Celtics against you for, like, under about 40 points differential. Like, I've definitely lost to you by at least 30 to 40 every time. Every time.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Like, when I play as the Celtics, it's just like I might as well not even have my controller plugged in. Like, it's a nightmare. And yet I do it
I
almost every time.
It's really the definition of insanity, but
It's
I mean,
I'm just hoping one of these times.
you've gotten far better over time because the first
Yes.
time we tried playing it, I was trying to explain to you how 2K worked, and like you just kept getting reach in fouls, and you were like, "What the fuck is this? This is stupid." And then like every single possession, and it got to a point where it was fun for you, and so then it was almost a goal to get reach in fouls, and so then we
I think
didn't
I
even
had
get
5 players get fouled out.
yeah, and this wasn't even the end of the second quarter. So, I mean, we just quit because it was
Yeah.
like, well, we weren't even gonna get through the game because this guy was just gonna try to make as many reach-in fouls happen as humanly possible. So,
Yeah, by
uh,
halftime, I had literally my entire bench fouled out.
so the fact that we even finish games at this point, like to that, Sean, is like a freaking miracle. So you're going places, dude.
For sure, and I actually beat you straight up not that long ago. I don't even remember who the hell I was. I was probably the Bucks or something. But I finally had beaten you straight up, and I was like, "Let's go."
And then it will never happen again.
We'll see, Sean. We'll see. I'm
Yeah,
gonna do it as the Sacramento Kings.
you're just gonna go full bold. We just Sacramento Kings in it. Let's
Let's
go.
go. Or as the disgusting piss yellow Utah Jazz now.
Oh, speaking of
Does it
the
get any worse? Can you please Google and pull those up right now? Because we've said it before, but I just need to say it again because I've never been so upset by a team's rebranding. Because it's like, okay, you had ugly, bad jerseys, and everyone wants the throwback with the mountain and stuff like that, or something adjacent, or even the same colors. But no, they went with like some weird Oregon football ripoff and just went full piss yellow, and it is maybe the worst uniform in the entire National Basketball Association, except for the Sacktown jerseys. Those are unbearable, but they might be the best. They might be the worst though. You
yeah,
got them?
yep. So,
Okay, here we go.
I love
Oh,
that there's
geez.
uh-huh,
Oh, these are tough to look at.
they really
They
they
look like practice jerseys.
and it's kind of funny that the Salt Lake Tribune, the new Jazz rebrand is an absolute travesty. Indeed, the laughing stock of the league. And then
This is their own Tribune.
uh-huh. Yep, 100. The highlighter yellow is garish. So how in the world did we end up with this?
Oh, that's so good.
So I
Oh,
mean, look at the array
yeah,
of
like look at this
colors.
history.
Yeah, look at this history and variety and creativity that they used to put into all of these jerseys. Like you could tell that like people used to care about their jobs. And
Oh
then
man.
someone just went in and just did Times New Roman and made it as big as they could and just wrote Utah on one and Jazz on the other. And they were
In
just
piss
like
yellow and black.
they were just like it. We're gonna do it.
They literally, bro. Oh my lord. They somehow look like an alarm clock in a way, like one of them digital ones where it's like just trying to be as minimalist as possible and it just says like January 22 in like the biggest font or just
Oh,
Jan 22. Like it's so bad. And also that white one, like I know they've done that style before with like the music note and the number, but for whatever reason, this specific version, the white with the weird piss yellow like striping, I mean, that thing is just heinous. It is so
yeah.
offensive to look at. I hate this. I don't
Yeah,
get it.
dude. It's bad, man. It's just one of those things where
Hold on a second here. Go back.
okay, okay, you got it.
I did not realize something here.
Uh-huh.
I did not realize, based on the logos here, that well, they don't do it this way anymore because everything's fucked up in sports. But it used to be that the white one would be the home jersey, the yellow would be the away. That means that the black, and I only know it because the Jordan logo, that one's the alternate.
Oh no.
So the home and away is the pea yellow and the like white one,
Oh.
and the black is just the alternate.
Oh no. Oh no.
This is so bad. I hate it.
Their alternate is Utah.
Right. That's the thing that's so weird. I thought that the stupid white one was an alternate, so I figured like, well, that's garish, but like at least they won't wear it as often. No. That is technically speaking, white is traditionally home. That is their home uniform. And the pea
Yeah.
yellow is the away, and the black one, which is probably the most tolerable of the uniforms, is the alternate.
Yeah. Well, Robert, not only are their jerseys looking bad,
Yeah, their team's looking pretty rough.
their team is in a hell of a situation right
Why
now. I
is
mean,
that?
first of all, I would say
Sean, why is that? Yes.
why is that?
Why is that? What's
Very
going on in
that
Utah?
what is going on in Utah? You look at this Royce O'Neal trade. Very weird trade. Very strange trade.
It's the
And then,
greatest moment I've seen on television in so long.
brother, it was
It's so
I
good.
love Brian Windhorst so much because of how
I
ungodly weird of a moment it was. Like
still don't
how
think
like
he ever made his point.
well, he admitted after that he had an inkling about the Rudy Gobert trade, so he was just really just running them all in circles. Like, why is that? Very weird trade. Very strange trade. When you look at it on paper, very weird trade. Very strange trade. Why is that?
Why is that?
It was
The
dude.
last time that when like Danny Ainge
When
hired,
Danny
I was like,
Ainge
what are
wasn't
we
bo-
talking about?
when Danny Ainge was last in Boston, he shipped
Dude.
these well, and like here, like seriously though, what he is talking about, because this is the interesting thing with Utah right now.
Okay.
When
Yeah,
Danny
please explain
Ainge,
this entire situation like I'm 5 because I still don't know what he was
yes,
trying to say.
yes. So Danny Ainge, former GM of the Boston Celtics,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years ago, retires from the Celtics. Although it's the worst kept secret in the world that he was going to end up working for the Jazz because his best buddy ends up buying the Jazz. So, hey, friend who just retired, come run my team. Okay, great. And so Danny Ainge comes to run the Utah Jazz, and they immediately run into playoff failures. They lose in the first round again. And so Danny Ainge, when he was in Boston, multiple times showed that he wasn't afraid to break it down to its studs and start over.
I
First of
see.
all, first of all, when he got there, he traded one of the favorites on the entire team, Antoine Walker. And then,
Yep.
in addition, he traded Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce when they were out of their prime and when that team reached its plateau as well. So, what he was
So the
alluding
Nets, right?
to, yeah, so what he was alluding to was first they make this trade essentially that is a type of trade that by itself doesn't make sense. That would
Mm.
only make sense to set up a series of other moves, which later that day, the Jazz traded Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And
Mm.
in return, So first of all, I'm not sure. Do you know anything about this trade, Robert?
So that was actually one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because I do and I don't. The things that I do know, I don't fully understand like how good they necessarily are. So like from the standpoint of, I know Rudy Gobert is a good basketball player and a good defender and all that kind of good stuff, right? And so my question is, um, does like how do you think that this affects the Minnesota Timberwolves? Like, was this the right move? Do you think that this do you think Minnesota is in a position? I know they started to do somewhat well in the playoffs this season. Do you think that this does elevate them and that this is the right way to continue to build? Because I know Minnesota's been criticized for a long time as pretending to build and then kind of not, wasting draft picks, stuff like that. Do you think that this is actually helping? And then the second part of that, obviously, we see that the Jazz received a God.
Yes.
God.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, explain to me who the winners or losers are in quotes, and walk me through this a little bit.
yeah. So the first thing you're going to notice is the Timberwolves went all in. They
Clearly,
gave up, not only did they give up 4 future first round picks,
Jesus.
but in addition, a pick swap in 2026, meaning whichever pick's better, the Jazz get.
Jesus Christ.
So the short answer to your question of, is this a good decision or will this work? The answer is it better? Now, let's talk about what this actually means from a roster construction standpoint and like what this actually means for the team. Because it first of all, Rudy Gobert, like you said, he's a good basketball player,
Yes.
but it's kind of like wondering like what effect is he going to have,
To
right?
what degree? Right. Yeah.
Right. Well, Rudy Gobert is a multi-time defensive player of the year winner. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this is a guy that is multi all NBA team, but the problem is like if you were to look at him and like watch his game, like it's kind of like the question of like, is he really going to affect winning for this team that much? I mean, like the thing is like the other difficult thing for this trade is that Rudy Gobert uh just turned 30. So
It's
the
not that
big
old, but it's not that young.
well, that's the thing is like,
Especially for 4 first rounders and maybe,
in
whatever that other one
addition,
is.
you have Rudy Gobert on a 5-year. I mean, you have Rudy Gobert on a very expensive contract. So
Mm.
his current contract, he is going to be paid this upcoming season. The Minnesota Timberwolves will pay him $38 million, and they will have him on contract through 2025, 2026, when they're going to owe him $46 million for that season, which is a player option, by the way. So I'm just going to let you know he's going to pick up that option.
Yeah, for sure. So one
So
of yeah, sorry.
here's the other piece of it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It puts their pressure on Minnesota's young players to be really
Through the
good
roof.
right now. So like specifically like for one, like it probably benefits Karl Anthony Towns the most because he doesn't have to like bang up and like play against like centers and like have to guard the best big man in a series anymore. He can
Right.
just play on the perimeter and kind of like pick his moments of being in the paint. So like it could in theory like allow them to be a really good regular season team, kind of like the Chicago Bulls last
Mm.
year, where it's like they could be a really solid regular season team, but you kind of wonder what their true thing is in the playoffs. But then their other best player, Anthony Edwards, who ideally, if they were to make it to the mountaintop, would be their best player.
Right.
He's 20 years old.
Right.
So like when you're looking at all these things at this roster, it's like, all right, well, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense as far as the timeline of where this roster's at to like make this
Right.
kind of cash in move, right? You make one playoff season, it kind of seems like a weird thing to cash in on, right? So that kind of leads you to the question of why is that? What
Well, no. Literally.
literally like what? Why is that?
No,
Why did they do
and
it?
this was genuinely, so this is my question, is because my thing is like, so this is clearly a win now move and the future be damned, because they are literally sacrificing the next 5 to 6 years of their franchise. So my thinking is like, Sean, does this put them into a position to win the championship now? Because that's the only reason you would make this kind of a move. Personally, I don't think it does. And I also don't know, was like that one specific spot on their roster, was that one specific thing on defense the thing that was keeping them from being a championship caliber team?
So
And is this just the Nets all over again getting fleeced, and then essentially him getting all these draft picks to become what the Boston Celtics are now today? And does this just prove that he is the greatest trade maker of all time, and
yeah.
that he's just going to continually build teams by fleecing other teams?
So let's start with what I was alluding to a little bit with the why is that? Because here's what's going on. As you recall, Alex Rodriguez and
A-Rod,
a group of investors
my boy, number 13.
purchased the Minnesota Timberwolves a couple years ago, going into last season,
Yes,
right?
I'm very aware.
And
Go
then
Yankees.
in their first year with the team, being around the team, they get a little excitement, right? They get their first taste of the
A little.
playoffs. They get their first taste of the playoffs. And in that series, to their credit, were pretty competitive against Memphis. And personally, my thing for them would not have been to trade for a 30-year-old center. It would have been to keep building pieces and kind of like try and like both win now, but also like get solid young pieces that can build around this core, like pieces that build better fit this timeline. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like the thing, because here's the thing: if it doesn't work with Rudy Gobert, they only have one option this Rudy Gobert situation to remedy the situation. And your only option is going to be trading Karl Anthony Towns if it doesn't work.
It's to blow it up.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Literally win or blow it up.
Literally either win or blow it up and start over and reboot around Anthony Edwards and try and win around him,
or trade him too. I mean,
but no, you don't trade him because you drafted him number 1 a couple years ago. He's 20 years old. He's already shown a lot of flashes to be a franchise guy, and he is still young enough to where, in theory, if this doesn't work, you could try and retool and still try to build around him. But the thing is that it's also putting a lot of pressure on him to perform now. And that's like when you're looking at franchises like the Pistons and like what they've done and what they chose to do this offseason versus like the Timberwolves, who were like, we're cashing in right now.
Yeah.
Like in Rudy Gobert, he said his goal is to help bring this team to the finals. And like they want to make that a thing. But listen, man, you gotta run. You gotta crawl before you run. And like you barely crawled. And here's another piece of this trade that I really don't like. Let's look at this trade again. I want you to look at this list of names of who they traded away. I want to highlight one name in particular on here.
Is it Patrick Beverley? Because I am very aware of him.
It's Patrick Beverley because, first of all, a lot of people memed how excited or how much he really. Which, by the way, first of all, look at him in this jersey and you tell me that this looks like a winning deal, because it just looks like the precipice of a disaster. But in addition,
it really does. First of all, their uniforms need a full reboot, and for the love of God, don't make them pea yellow. But like it just looks kind of like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the first time that I saw Blake Griffin in a Pistons uniform. I just went,
yeah. But in all seriousness, though, like the thing is like, there's something to be said about selling the soul of your franchise to go get a big name. And like for someone that like was said to be so instrumental in what they did last year
Mm.
and how this team got to the next step, to like ship his ass in a trade so quickly to go get some, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
like especially for someone that was touted to be so crucial to your franchise, and now it's like, hey, thanks for all this stuff. Thanks for all this stuff you did for our culture. Go yourself. Like it's like, hey, to me, it just doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, it's that's their thing. But
It's what they did.
it,
Yeah.
it now, I mean, they're going to certainly be more competitive, and like there's
Yeah.
certainly a team that like I certainly could see them like winning a playoff series or like being like maybe, but like again,
Yeah, depending on who they're against.
so
Yeah.
that's just the thing. It really and the other thing, they had to trade a good amount of role players in this trade to make it work for salary. So I just
Right. I feel like
I
they
just
looked at
don't love
you.
it.
Right. They looked at Utah, who have not been able to get over the hump and have clearly just not been good enough. And they went, sign me up. Like, it's just such like a weird, I was like, I don't understand. I'm like,
Well, and
okay, sure.
especially in a league that's getting smaller and smaller, to have over $70 million of your salary
Mm.
tied into big men, just right
What
there
does that say
alone.
about Oklahoma City? Because their entire team's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the difference
That
with those
roster
guys.
is bizarre.
Well, the difference with those guys though is that like that's like more versatile, right? Like a
Bro,
lot
they
of
got a
those
whole
guys.
team of Wilt Chamberlains. Like, it's so
Well, like
weird.
okay, but like in Oklahoma City though, like Chet, for example, he's not your normal big guy. He's like this guy that you can throw around, and do all sorts of different things, and like they have like a lot of long guys. They don't have a lot of big guys. You know what I'm saying?
I feel what you're
So
saying. Yeah, yeah.
like with a guy like Rudy Gobert, like with like Karl Anthony Towns, he can get out on the
Mm.
perimeter, he can do stuff on the outside. Rudy Gobert, to put it kindly, can't.
Well,
um
that's not gonna work.
Offensively, that is not why you're bringing him in.
Yikes.
Mhm.
Big old bag of yikes. So Sean,
Mhm.
it to me, and from what I saw, and when I saw this trade go through, it kind of sounds like my initial reaction was correct. Of like, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know a ton. Like, I'm not going to be able to deep dive it the way that you can, but I am involved in basketball. Like, I do pay attention. Like, I play up how
Right.
dumb I am, but I know what I'm talking about ish. And so the thing of it is, like, I looked at this trade and I just went, well, Utah wins this. Like, they just fleeced them
Well,
completely.
yeah,
I'm like,
for Utah, I mean, no one knew what Rudy Gobert's value was.
I didn't think it was this.
No one thought it was this. So for them, I mean,
Didn't
because
think it was this.
because realistically now, this puts them in a great situation because, for Utah, either you can try and retool and try and
Hmm.
build this around Donovan Mitchell,
Yeah,
or you can trade him too, and you could be in a similar position to OKC, where you're not like, you don't have as many picks as them, but you
sure,
certainly
but
have more than most of the league. You know what I mean? Like you can go through and just, flex that and use that to your advantage. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, for sure. It's a strange. It's kind of like he said. Why is that? No, it's totally like that. Of just like the something weird is going on in not even Utah. Something weird's going on just in general. I mean, I guess it's not weird because it's like obvious what they were doing, but it's
Right.
just so like, how do you not see this play out over and over and
Well,
over and
but
still think you're going to be different? Like, I
well,
don't
well,
understand how you or not Utah, but Minnesota looks at this and they're like, oh, it's going to work for us though.
but that's the thing though, Robert. It's the new owner syndrome. It's the excitement of seeing your like, oh, like we already have this strong base of a season to build off of. Let's bring it to the next level. Let's double down on this. Let's go all in. Let's win and bring winning basketball right at the beginning of our ownership tenure. Like
And
it's
I'm
like the
okay with that, but it's like nobody evaluated what was it that made the team good. Because I feel like nobody sat down and looked at these are the
well,
reasons why we were strong, and here were
it
the weak
does it
parts,
does
and
it does
let's
directly address a need. It does directly address a need of, they needed stronger interior defense. Karl
sure,
Anthony Towns did need help on that end. And
right.
so like in that sense, like it does add a lot Like from a basketball sense, from like a philosophy standpoint, like it makes sense where they're coming from because it does make them formidable in that sense. And like it can make them a matchup problem for a lot of other teams. However, on
Mm.
the other hand, I mean, like the other question is how are you going to stretch the floor? Or how are you going to, how are you going to score with all five of those guys on the court during the playoffs?
It,
I just
it
don't
doesn't
see
make
it.
sense.
Yeah.
They literally, and the thing of it is too, is it's like, okay, this would be a great move if you didn't literally get rid of every asset that you own in the process, because now you can't like make another move to even better make this thing work. Like, this is one of those moves that's a great
Like yeah,
move, but like you
like you
need
can
like
make
that next piece, maybe.
yeah, like salary wise, you are very much tied into
A
this
disaster.
this this core and
Right.
yeah, there's just a lot about it
There's
where,
no other move to be made, and they have no trade pieces. They have no money, no trade pieces, and it's
well
like, this is just it.
the only trade pieces they have are franchise guys is the
Right, which would
thing.
just
Like,
ruin the whole thing
yeah, like you would have to strip it down to the bones, essentially, almost. So
for a
yeah.
30-year-old. It's like, what are we doing? So yeah, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, it's confusing to say the least.
Yeah, man, they are making some interesting decisions over there, that's for sure.
And Sean, we need to talk a little bit. So first of all, I'm not going to spoil anything, so don't worry, people. Sean, have you watched Stranger Things yet?
No.
Okay. My question does not involve anything that matters. It is about pizza specifically. Okay. And since this is a pizza podcast,
This is
okay,
a palace of pizza.
that is correct. Now the thing is that this show has brought up the topic of conversation being pineapple on pizza once again. It is much like, is hot dogs a sandwich? It's like that conversation, the conversation that never dies. Now, Sean, your brother tweeting a very controversial opinion in my estimation, saying that it was great to see them applaud pineapple on pizza and to give it its, just due. Sean, where are you on this issue?
I am also a pineapple on pizza enthusiast. I mean, listen, man, my brother brought me to the dark side in that front. It didn't make any sense to me. And he's gone. And that's all it took. Thank God.
I quit the show. I left.
Thank goodness he's back. Oh no, don't leave. No, I'm kidding, but no, I mean, listen, man. I mean, people can say whatever they want, but it tastes freaking fantastic. And when done right,
This is
it's
so
it's
bothersome.
it's a good pizza pie,
So,
man.
Sean, let me. So, first of all, being that this is a pizza, named podcast, anyways, I do have a number of questions here because we never have addressed our pizza preferences on the Pizza Palace. Now, Sean, what is? I have two questions. We'll start with the first one of your pineapple pizza. What else are you getting on it, and where are you buying your ideal pineapple pizza from?
Okay, so ideally, like I'm not getting it from like a cheap chain or anything like
Sure.
that. If I'm getting pineapple on pizza, like I want it to be from like a good place. Like I'm
Okay.
talking like a local chain. So like a
Okay.
Vitali's, if you will. And if
Hmm.
I'm going, I'm if I'm getting pineapple on pizza, I also want to get ham and then maybe some bacon as well.
Oh.
Like it's gotta be a Hawaiian pizza, man. You ever had ham and pineapple?
God, you've made it so much worse. So first of all, I hate ham. I hate pork in general. I can't do pork. No, I hate pork. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah. I'm a little, yeah.
now it's my turn to walk
That's
off.
right. So does that mean I guess my question is, if you have, like, let's say you even went Papa John's, which is probably the best of the fast food chains. If you
Yeah.
went Papa John's,
I mean, like, I would
are they
consider
okay?
yeah, like, I would consider yeah, I get pineapple on pizza. It's now like, don't get me
Right.
wrong, like, it's not like I need to get a pineapple pizza. Like, it's not
Sure,
like,
but you do like it.
oh, yeah, like, if it's available, I'm gonna eat it
I see.
100%. Yeah.
So my
Like, Little Caesars, no chance in hell. Like, no.
Yeah,
Like,
if they did
whatever
pineapple, there's no shot. There's
no.
literally no chance. I know that this show is literally named after Little Caesars Arena and the fact that But like, and here's the thing:
Listen,
you and I
listen,
like,
I would take a sponsorship from them gladly, and I
and
will
we
talk
do
about
like Little Caesars a lot. We
we
do.
do,
We used
but
to have a championship title that was made out of a box lid of a Little Caesars box, and we're not joking.
it's still in my it's still in my it's definitely in my closet in my parents' house,
You still
100%.
have it?
Oh, it's definitely there. Yeah.
Please, Sean, you need to retrieve it because I'm going to need to see the pizza belt. I'm gonna need to see the pizza belt.
Dude,
That
the
needs to
Little
be a new
Caesars
segment.
title belt, dude.
Sean, I have a great idea. We need to make a bet every year in the season on basketball, some stupid wager, and we trade back and forth the Little Caesars pizza
I
belt.
love that so
This is
much.
happening because
Yep,
obviously I spent
100%.
like $500 on this, so there's no chance in hell I'm giving it to you.
Well, yeah,
But
no, I know
the
that. Yeah.
pizza belt
Yeah.
is a genius idea.
Or we could like take like some of our ad revenue. We could buy the 24/7 title too. And we could like we could like tape like a Little Caesars thing on there, just like
what
we
would
did.
be the point of buying an expensive title then? No,
It's the 24 title belt. We're not getting the expensive one. We're
it's
getting
$250.
a cheap.
I looked it up.
Do you really think I was gonna buy the real 24/7 title belt?
I thought okay. I thought so the like cheap one that they sell out for
Yeah,
like
of course. I'm
from
not
like
buying their
Hasbro.
bullshit ass $250 leather 24/7 title.
A
Are you
title that doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, like literally like the dumbest belt that exists
It's
for
so bad.
solely so that our truth has an income. Like is the only
Yeah.
reason that this belt is really
I don't think
on
he
the
even does it anymore because actually a
yeah.
girl has it right now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I think Jimmy Kimmel's had it at one point. My
Yeah.
favorite NASCAR driver, Kyle Busch, had it briefly. I know what's his name? It doesn't matter. The point is that yeah, it's a stupid title, but no, the pizza belt is fantastic, and I kind of love how crappy it is, and I kind of love that it's still a pizza lid from like 5 years ago. That's so awesome. I love it. I love it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
But back a little bit though. So we do genuinely love Little Caesars, but we love Little Caesars because we kind of understand what we're getting.
Yep.
Like let's just I mean it is delicious,
Yeah.
but like even Little Caesars themselves, and maybe I'm wrong, but they got to admit, like they know that they're not serving you the greatest slice ever created.
Well,
Like
it's
they
why
got
it's
to know that.
called hot and ready. It's not called warm and delicious. It's called hot and ready. Like they don't make any like is it good? It's hot and it's ready.
I
Like
gotta
what
tell you,
else?
Sean, we are never getting sponsored by them ever.
Hey, this episode to them, they'll never know. It doesn't
That's true.
exist to them.
That's fair. Please don't clip it.
This never happened.
Yeah, you didn't
This
see anything.
never happened.
So Sean,
I get out like the freaking Men in Black
Yeah.
light thing.
Sean, I need to know then if you are given the choice of your perfect pizza, what is your perfect pizza, toppings and that kind of thing? And if you would
Oh.
like to elaborate, if there's a specific chain and or restaurant, whether it's a local or whatever it is, you can also elaborate that way, or if that's a separate thing. But please.
For me, man, I love meat on pizza. So like
I know that you love meat. You're a big meat guy.
I'm glad you're sitting down on this one. I'm glad. I don't know where you got that from, Robert. I could not be
Yeah.
vegetarian, but
That's right.
yeah.
Sean loves big, large, warm meat.
I like big, large meat. No, but I just so like I love like pepperoni, sausage. I love sausage on a pizza.
Loves sausage. He loves it.
Never could go wrong with some bacon on there either. Like
Okay.
the holy trinity right there. Pepperoni, bacon, and sausage right there. Just throw some ham on there for luxury if you want. If not, it's fine by me. But
So a meat lovers essentially is your favorite.
yeah, it's really what I'm just saying is just meat lovers pizza.
I see. Is there a specific chain that is by far the best one that like, or even a local, like what is the, like, this is the pinnacle of what you've had?
I mean, like if I'm thinking like my favorite pizza place, like, you know, it's definitely definitely not like chains. Like chains are fine. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
of the chains, I like Papa John's. I'm I like Little Caesars when I'm in a mood for something fast and cheap, but
Hot and
otherwise,
ready.
yeah, hot and ready, exactly. But I hate Pizza Hut. I
Mm.
hate Domino's.
Domino's is rough.
Yeah. I don't
Domino's
even
is rough.
Domino's. I don't even want you to sponsor us.
Yeah,
Take these and
please.
bring them home. But anyway, but anyway, it's just like of all the companies to take a random stand against
That
Domino's.
caught
Like,
me so off guard, and I loved it so much. I really need that framed. It's so beautiful.
just me, just going, take these and bring it home.
Oh god. If
Uh,
I believed in NFTs, which I don't, that would be a great NFT. Oh my god, I'm literally lightheaded. Holy fuck. But God, that was funny. I actually don't mind Pizza Hut, but God, yeah, Domino's is rough.
I mean, like I've had it like there's times where you and I've had Pizza Hut where I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, this is fine. But I mean, but like I mean, at the end of the day, man, you really can't like the beautiful thing about a pizza is
Mm.
that for the most part, you really can't screw it up. Like at
It's
the end of
like
the
the old saying of like sex and pizza are the same thing because you can't like it can only be so bad. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
and
never
like
like
and there can only
really
be
that bad.
so much ejaculate on it. You know what I mean?
No, I think for
I'm,
me,
I'm
I agree in the sense of like a local chain's probably the best. Now, my goal in the next couple of years is to go to New York and be able to have some of their pizza pies and of course Borelli's on Long Island.
What I think we're gonna need to do, Robert, is like at
Yes.
some point we're just gonna have a random ass episode where we just do pizza taste testing.
Oh
I
my
just
god, that
feel
would
like
be so awesome. I am beyond in.
yeah, like I feel like we gotta
Yeah.
do like I feel like we should do like blind pizza taste tests
Oh
where we
my
get
god, that
like
would be so awesome. Bring in all the chains and then have
uh-huh.
us. We'll have to do it. You know what? We'll set this up off pod, but we'll do it in my apartment and we'll be both on the same like whatever, and then Katie can kind of like
Yep.
cater it to us.
We'll
That
make
is fantastic.
yeah, we'll actually do that as a video sometime. That'll
That
be
is
fun.
literally a legitimately hilarious and great idea. We'll do that as like
Yeah.
a special bonus thing where
Yeah.
it's not necessarily an episode, but it's like a bonus thing
Yeah.
or whatever.
Also
That'd be awesome.
also, real quick,
Mm.
congratulations. The Detroit Red Wings just drafted Marco Casper at 8 overall, center out of Sweden. So,
Ooh, okay.
um,
We
yeah.
need center depth, so and I trust Steve Yzerman, so I'm gonna say okay. Sounds good.
Mhm. Yep.
Sounds good. Who says
So
no?
uh-huh. So the NHL draft is really weird to watch in comparison to all the other drafts because they instead of their war
Baseball's also
rooms,
unwatchable.
well, also because instead of their war rooms being in remote locations, they
Uh-huh.
just have these guys huddled up in tables on the draft floor. So they have them all
Yeah.
come up and read their picks as well. It's just so weird.
I gotta be honest, the only two good drafts are literally the NFL and the NBA. The rest of them, just keep them.
Yep.
Keep
Yep.
them. So to wrap it up, because I guess I didn't technically answer my perfect pizza. Honestly, I'm a simple boy. Pepperoni. Just give me some pepperoni on the
Yeah.
pizza. Although some places have shitty pepperoni, in which case I'll just do cheese. I know that's a lame answer. Fuck you. I don't care.
Well, dude, it's kind of
But
funny when you think about it though, that like how much like pizza's at the core of our friendship because
it
how
really is.
almost every time we hang out, we generally share a pie. And then in addition, our podcast we literally named after pizza without thinking about
The moment that bonded us, and maybe someday we'll share the story on pod, but literally the moment that bonded us to be forever friends
was
was
when we
literally
left
picking up pizza.
from Little Caesars.
Yes. It is
Mhm.
hilarious. Like some of our most important moments as friends
Yep.
is either picking up pizza, eating pizza, or something adjacent. Like it's
Yep.
hilarious. It's always
Or
pizza.
pizza adjacent.
Yes, very. So
Yep.
yeah, no, yeah, pepperoni is probably my favorite and or cheese, and probably Papa John's is the best chain if I had to pick, maybe Pizza Hut number 2, but other than that, yeah, the chains are pretty rough, so you kind of have to go local for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. You like generally you want to go online, do some review, like look at like what are some good reviewed pizza places in the area and
Yeah,
yeah, man. Like cuz once you find a good local place, it's like
it's over. Yeah,
GG's on chains. Like that was a wrap. Like
for sure. Yeah, and Michigan is kind of hit or miss, and a lot of the good ones have went away. There used to be this amazing one with this guy Mario, but he went back to Italy, and then yeah, it got sold a couple of times, and it's ruined. But yeah, shout out.
and then Bowser took over the castle.
I
and
hate
then-
you. His name literally was Mario. That
I
was the
know.
kind of, he was a great guy. I loved him. Yeah, shout out Borelli's on Long Island. That's another nice pizza place, good place.
Borelli's on Long Island.
Go Islanders. But
Go
no,
Islanders.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna make my way out there sometime to the island and
Yeah.
in Manhattan in general and get pizza. But at my favorite place, Sabaros. For all you Office fans.
Oh, my favorite. I gotta get out here for a New York,
New York
slice.
slice.
It goes right to
Sabaros. Dude, this lady at church, she's a New Yorker. She's from the Bronx, and yeah, I was talking to her about that, and we were just laughing so hard. We were like, God, Sabaros is such ass. It's so bad.
Oh, hey, but this podcast could be brought to you by Sabaro, so don't be talking bad about our future.
No. First of all, Sabaros, take these with you. Sabaros were also alienating. Sabaros can take it.
We just from now on, we just have like we could just alternate and just choose companies that we give the double bird to,
We're
and
just
so like we just
alienating
make
potential
yeah.
sponsors.
So it's just like, hey, Domino's, go fuck yourself. Hey, Sabaros, right here for you. Like,
It's pizza time, as Spider-Man once said. It's pizza time.
oh, it's pizza time and it's reckoning time. Apparently, holy
God,
shit!
I am sweating. It's really hot in this room. Y'all can't tell. Also, I had myself a nice glass of whiskey in my, Hockey Town glass. So,
Hell yeah.
with my New York Yankees cubes, just to really piss you off. So, anyways, yeah. I got my custom plates for anyone, all you wrestling fans. I just loved it. By the way, I love bringing this up now because of the fact that we had like 10 comments being like,
I love
no
that.
wrestling.
Yeah,
And I
like,
was like,
people like, please don't talk about
Don't
wrestling.
talk about fake sports. I only like real sports.
it's like, whatever, up yours. Anyways, but we
I
do
couldn't
love
have
you
said-
guys.
I couldn't have said it any better
I mean,
myself.
we do. But like, hey.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Hey.
So anyways, yeah, there's not a whole lot going on kind of in sports because it's like the middle of the summer. The Tigers are awful. The Yankees are great, and you don't want to hear about that. So
This
Well,
is
this
what
is
we're
what this-
left with.
This is what this pod is anyway.
It's
This is what
it is.
this
It's
is what it
chaos,
was-
baby.
this
It's
is what-
chaos.
this is what it was meant to be, and this is what you're here for.
what bus driver?
What bus driver?
Okay, we need to. Okay,
Yeah,
love
yeah,
you
this is off the
guys.
rails. We need help. Anyway, once we get to quoting fucking Dark Knight bank robbery heist scenes,
It's over.
that's when the episode is concluded.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway,
Bye, guys.
what bus driver?
He told me something similar.
He told me something. No.